Yeah, this is crazy. How you guys doing? Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. How you guys doing? How's it going, guys? Still dealing with slow computer.
This is a recording of me to test my audio in Premiere Pro. This is a recording of me to test my audio in Premiere Pro. Okay. Highlight your audio clip and go over to Essential Sound. If you don't see it, you can...
Oh, God. I'm going to just play. Oh, man. It's like... Okay. Hello?
It's a vulgar display. It's the kind of thing you see Kim Jong-un, you see it Putin, you see the dictators around the world that are weak and just want to demonstrate strength. Weakness masquerading as strength. To fet the dear leader on his birthday, what an embarrassment. Honestly, that's about as small as it gets. How weak do you have to be to commandeer the military to fet you on your birthday?
Yeah, I swear, man. Hey guys, how you doing? We're here. Now, Gavin Newsome, he's a Democratic Party official here in California. And it's known that he puts migrants first. He puts migrants first everywhere. Before, the white community and the black community. And that's the problem Trump has with him, is that basically, he wants him to be more, hold on, please. Trump wants him to focus more on Americans instead of immigrants. And like I said, the Democratic Party is an international party full of people from India, Africa, Asia, South America, and so forth. It's an international company. Democratic Party.
In a vulgar display of weakness. That's Donald Trump.
Well, that's not... I don't know if you agree or not. They're Persians. They're Persians. Have Persians too. He's going at it with Trump. Trump is really talking BS about him. He's talking BS back to him. So let's see what Gavin Newsome got to say here.
Manage it regularly and with our own law enforcement. But this, again, was different. What then ensued was the use of tear gas, flashbang grenades, rubber bullets, federal agents detaining people and undermining their due process rights. Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets illegally and for no reason. This brazen abuse of power by a sitting president inflamed a combustible situation, putting our people, our officers, and even our National Guard at risk. That's when the downward spiral began. He doubled down on his dangerous National Guard deployment by fanning the flames even harder. And the president, he did it on purpose. As the news spread throughout LA, anxiety for family and friends ramped up. Protests started again. By night, several dozen lawbreakers became violent and destructive. They vandalized property. They tried to assault police officers. Many of you have seen the video clips of cars burning on cable news. If you incite violence, I want to be clear about this. If you incite violence or destroy our communities, you're going to be held to account. That kind of criminal behavior will not be tolerated. Full stop. Already more than 220 people have been arrested, and we're reviewing tapes to build additional cases, and people will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Again, thanks to our law enforcement officers and the majority of Angelenos who protested peacefully, the situation was winding down and was concentrated in just a few square blocks downtown. But that's not what Donald Trump wanted. He again chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. He federalized another 2,000 Guard members. He deployed more than 700 active U.S. Marines. These are the men and women trained for foreign combat, not domestic law enforcement.
And that's true, and I believe so too. What Gavin Newsom is saying is true, because the way Trump rushed in there, but I saw it coming, because I was like, how are ICE agents going to operate in Los Angeles? Because Los Angeles is 80% Hispanic. So the only people that are here are Hispanics from South America, Armenians, Persians, Asians, and Middle Easterns, Arabs, or Syrians and so forth. Those are the asylum seekers that are escaping their country because of war. California is international. The real citizens have been pushed out, kicked out, because they're not willing to work for minimum wages. They're not willing to, they know the law like me. Because these international people, they don't know the law. They don't know their rights. They don't know what to do when they get a traffic ticket, when they get a citation. They don't know their amendments. They don't know their constitutional rights. They only know this stuff when they go talk to a lawyer. They don't know it personally. So, they're learning. They're not taught anything. They're just forced to go to work and to work for a minimum wage. So and this is what's going to happen, is that and look at them, they're waving their own flags. Honduras is waving their own flag. Mexico is waving their own flag. The Armenians are waving their own flags. Everybody's waving their own flag. You see, it's an international party. And that's the problem ICE is going to have, because ICE is surrounded by nothing but immigrants. You might as well just what the hell? You might as well just arrest everybody. Just shut the whole city down and arrest everyone, and then go to the next city.
honor their service. We honor their bravery. But we do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces. Not in LA, not in California, not anywhere. We're seeing unmarked cars in school parking lots, kids afraid of attending their own graduation. Trump is pulling a military dragnet all across Los Angeles, well beyond his stated intent to just go after violent and serious criminals. His agents are arresting dishwashers, gardeners, day laborers, and seamstresses. That's just weakness masquerading as strength. Donald Trump's government isn't protecting our communities. They're traumatizing our communities. And that seems to be the entire point. California will keep fighting. We'll keep fighting on behalf of our people, all of our people, including in the courts. Just yesterday, we filed a legal challenge to Donald Trump's reckless deployment of American troops to a major American city. Today, we sought an emergency court order to stop the use of the...
That deployment of the troops was quick, but like I said, these ICE agents are in trouble because they're going in there, they're saying, oh, we're just going to get criminals. But come to find out, everybody is criminal. Like 70% came in illegally. So Trump said, and his officials said, you have to send the guards there. You have to send the Marines there because our soldiers are going to be in trouble. And that's what he did. And Gavin Newsome knows that, but he's going to come over here and talk like he don't know what's going on. Basically, he's saying that this is my city. I call the shots. You don't bring no troops in here. You don't bring nobody in here. Follow federal law.
The American military to engage in law enforcement activities across Los Angeles. If some of us could be snatched off the streets without a warrant, based only on suspicion or skin color, then none of us are safe. Authoritarian regimes begin by targeting people who are least able to defend themselves, but they do not stop there. Trump and his loyalists, they thrive on division because it allows them to take more power and exert even more control. And by the way, Trump, he's not opposed to lawlessness and violence as long as it serves him. What more evidence do we need than January 6th? Ask everyone. Take time, reflect on this perilous moment. A president who wants to be bound by no law or constitution, perpetuating a unified assault on American traditions. This is a president who in just over 140 days has fired government watchdogs that could hold him accountable for corruption and fraud. He's declared a war on culture, on history, on science, on knowledge itself. Databases, quite literally, are vanishing. He's delegitimizing news organizations, and he's assaulting the First Amendment. And the threat of defunding them, that threat, he's dictating what universities themselves can teach. He's targeting law firms and the judicial branches that are the foundations of an orderly and civil society. He's calling for a sitting governor to be arrested for no other reason than to, in his own words, for getting elected. And we all know this Saturday, he's ordering our American heroes, the United States military, and forcing them to put on a vulgar display to celebrate his birthday, just as other failed dictators have done in the past. Look, this isn't just about protests here in Los Angeles. When Donald Trump sought blanket authority to commandeer the National Guard, he made that order apply to every state in this nation.
Listen now, listen. Oh, sure, we got Oh, man, what the heck's up with this person, man? I swear, man, they mess around with your cursor.
Yeah, you look great. You're a person.
Oh. Yeah, so we see what's going on here.
This is about all of us. This is about you. California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault before our eyes. This moment we have feared has arrived. He's taking a wrecking ball to our founding fathers' historic project. 3 co-equal branches,
I hope you guys like that background. I've had it for a long
time. No longer any
I just thought
checks
about
and
it.
balances. Congress is nowhere to be found. Speaker Johnson has completely abdicated that responsibility. The rule of law has increasingly
It was crazy.
given way to the rule
Everything
of
is
God.
getting boarded up.
The founding fathers, they didn't live and die to see this kind of moment. It's time for all of us to stand up. Justice Brandeis, he said it best. In a democracy, the most important office, with all due respect, Mr. President, is not the presidency, and it's certainly not governor. The most important office is office of citizen. At this moment, we all need to stand up and be held to account, a higher level of accountability. If you exercise your First Amendment rights, please do it peacefully. I know many of you are feeling deep anxiety, stress, and fear, but I want you to know that you are the antidote to that fear and that anxiety. What Donald Trump wants most is your fealty, your silence to be complicit in this moment. Do not give in to it.
That was a blistering speech there from the California governor, Gavin Newsome, responding after days of back and forth between his state and Los Angeles specifically and the White House and President Trump, including comments that the president has made, saying that if he was his border czar, he would have Governor Newsome arrested, something that the governor there invoked as he was essentially referencing not only what we've been seeing play out in Los Angeles, which he was plenty critical of, including Trump bypassing the governor there to deploy the National Guard, also sending hundreds of Marines to Los Angeles. He also invoked the fact that he had implied having him arrested, the president's upcoming military parade that he's having here in Washington, his fight with Harvard, and he warned other states in that speech that, quote, other states are next. He said that Donald Trump is not opposed to lawlessness, and he invoked what happened on January 6th. He also addressed what we've been seeing play out over the last several nights in Los Angeles and condemned the violence and the vandalism. He pointed to the hundreds of arrests that have played out so far already in that city and said that they are working through video and compiling additional cases as he thanked the Los Angeles Police Department for the work that it's done so far and said it was needless to have the National Guard also deployed there. Those were notable comments coming from the governor after a vicious back and forth between President Trump and Governor Newsome, as he has repeatedly criticized the job that Newsome has done and said if it was not for him sending in the National Guard, that Los Angeles would be burning to the ground. I want to bring in CNN's Priscilla Alvarez back here with me, also our chief in law enforcement and intelligence analyst, John Miller. But Scott Jennings and Kate Bedingfield, I want to start with you because, Kate, obviously...
So... I gotta take off. I got an appointment, but I'm going back down to downtown LA. Bring up some more pictures for you. The thumbnail. Thanks for coming by. Share and subscribe. Catch me every morning, early in the morning, around this time, 6 to 9 a.m. Talking about what's going on. Have a good day. Come back for more.